I'm very excited about my little tea station. I think that I'm gonna drink a lot more now that it's out in the open, and it's just something cozy and fun to look forward to. Another cozy thing I love to do this time of year as the days get shorter is to cook more. As you can see behind me, I have a massive cookbook collection. Every book on these two shelves is a cookbook. Some are vintage from the 1920s and others are relatively new. Some came out a week ago. I have an obsession with cookbooks, and a lot of that stems from the fact that my husband and I, we just enjoy cooking at home. It's very rare that we go out to eat. We really only eat out when we travel. When the days get shorter, I always find it really fun to have a new recipe to come home to. It's definitely something that gives you a little bit more joy and excitement on the days when it's 5 o'clock and it's completely dark outside already. So I'm gonna share with you 5 of my favorite cookbooks that I tend to use a lot more this time of year. There's great inspiration in there. Some are absolutely New England treasures, and others just have really great fall seasonal ingredients in them. So I'm gonna give you guys my top 5, and maybe you'll find 1 or 2 that can give you some inspiration to have something fun to look forward to as our days get a little bit shorter. Okay, I've got the 5. I'm gonna start with my newest one. I have cooked so many recipes from this book. It is a pasta cookbook. There's everything in here from cooking your own pasta, making it from scratch, and you can use store-bought. I've used store-bought most of the time. I would love to get my hands in and like really make pasta from scratch. I just haven't had the time to do it running my business as we head into the holiday season. But this book has so many great sauce recipes. The one I tried most recently is a smoked pumpkin sauce. So easy, so delicious. It really just embodies the essence of the fall time period, and it's in a nicer, different way than just a pumpkin cream sauce. So I love how seasonal this book is. I love that it's so easy to do. I want to say it took me less than 30 minutes to whip that up for dinner. I just had a little side salad with it as well, and so user-friendly, so delicious. So highly recommend that. My next cookbook is the newest one from Erin French. Her first cookbook I have, my mom actually gave it to me, I think. It is lovely, but it's a little bit advanced. It's a little bit fancy. A lot of easier weeknight recipes. Erin is definitely known for soup. So soup and fall and cozy is perfect. So I have found a lot of use out of this. There's quite a few recipes I still would like to try, but another great cookbook. Then the one that I just dropped on the floor, I hope I didn't damage it. Okay. This cookbook, I cannot say enough good things about it. It is the Maman cookbook. It is a bakery in New York City. They have since expanded. Since the first time I went, I've only been a couple times. I used to be a corporate retail buyer, so I went to New York all the time. I would try really hard to get to one of their locations because it's just so French, it's so classic. They have blue and white dishes, which is my favorite, and their recipes are incredible. I love their quiche recipes in here. To me, that's a really cozy weekend, lovely meal to cook. They do have pastries in here. All their pies look great. They have soups and sandwiches and salads. This is just one of those books where every single recipe to me looks amazing. So I have gone back to this time and time again. And then the next one is a very New England cookbook. It is the Vermont Farm to Table cookbook. It's a paperback, but they have done a great job collecting really true Vermont farm to table recipes in here. You're gonna find a lot of maple syrup in here, a lot of pies, a lot of different soups and salads. It definitely is seasonal. There are things in here that feel more spring and summer forward, but I just love Vermont. My mom actually grew up sort of going between Vermont and New York, and I ended up growing up pretty much visiting my grandmother who lived in Vermont. So we were up there every summer, every other Christmas. My memories of Christmas were in Vermont, in Manchester, Vermont. And so I have a really soft spot for it. A lot of our family photos are my grandfather doing his sugaring. He would go and collect the maple syrup from all of the trees. So I just have such a soft spot for Vermont. I wish I could get up there more and spend more time there, but that's the hard thing about New England. Each state has their own unique, beautiful thing, and there's just not enough time to explore all of New England every year during every season. So I love to have this because it sort of gives me a little bit of nostalgia, and it's really cool because you can go through the book and there's different farms or inns or restaurants, and they all provide recipes in here. So if you want a true sort of Vermont experience, every recipe in here comes from someone or a business in the state. So highly recommend that. And then it wouldn't be a little cookbook list if I didn't include Ina Garten. She is one of my favorites. I actually cooked something from here last night, and I made the spinach, and it was just a spinach pie. I made her spinach pie and it was delicious. I love her recipes for her sides. She has a mashed butternut squash in this one. Really, you can't go wrong with any of her books. I do find her original one that I have here to be a little bit more fall friendly, I guess. There's a few more pastas and just some more cozy things in here. So I picked this one specifically, but mainly it was because I just cooked out of it last night. We did make the spinach pie, it was delicious, and now we have enough leftovers for probably 3 more dinners, which I love because now I don't have to cook tonight. So those are just a handful of the cookbooks. Obviously I have a lot more, and I definitely will continue to buy more. This is sort of the cookbook season of year. So if I come across any new ones, I will share with you guys on Instagram what they look like, what my thoughts are, and yeah. But cooking a fun meal and going through your workday and having not only a fun food thing or a meal to look forward to, but I guess it's fun to look forward to being around the table with your family. For me, it's me and my husband and my dog Lucy, but I know that I look back on my childhood and I had dinner at the table with my parents every night, and my mom even played music. She would play either Kenny G or Enya. So I started playing Enya at dinner. I'll switch off between that and some jazz just like in the background, because it's just so nice to have a lovely dinner when you come home and then you're already home. You don't have to drive anywhere. I mean, yes, you have to do dishes, but we have a rule in our house where whoever cooks doesn't have to clean, and I cook about 95% of the time. So once I get to cook my meal, we get to enjoy it, and then I can just retire to the office and do some work or to the couch and relax. So I love, love, love trying new recipes and new cookbooks this time of year. It just brings a little bit of happiness to a shorter, colder day. So I am still a very amateur gardener, but I'm really stepping up my game this year. I did not plant any spring bulbs last year, and I definitely regretted it. Come spring, I had nothing in the garden really other than my peonies, which I've cut back. So I just did all the amendments to my garden bed, and now we're gonna plant some spring bulbs. Got bulbs from my local garden center. I got some variety packs of just pretty tulips, and then I did get some hyacinths because I just love the colors and I love the combination of these two. I'm not a huge fan of daffodils, but I did actually buy a few assorted packs. I've never purchased anything from Eden Brothers before, but they had lovely romantic tulips. So I have some very romantic color palettes going on here. I'm much more of a softer, light pastel person with little pops of blue. I just love that. So I'm very excited to plant these, and we're just gonna make a few little vignettes all down the garden bed here, which is in the front of my house. One of the new things I did this year was I sent some of my soil to a soil testing center to actually let me know what I needed for amendments. And it was really interesting. I sent it out to University of Massachusetts. I'll leave the link down below. I took about 12 samples throughout the garden and sent off my samples. They came back and told me I needed to add certain amendments in certain quantities. So I did that about 3 weeks ago, watered everything in, and now my garden beds are ready for my spring bulbs. I have 3 peony plants, and that's about all I have for spring blooms. So I'm very excited to put together a little vignette of tulips, daffodils, and hyacinth, and just have something to look forward to early in the spring.